And it's still 7:00. We are live.
Welcome to the No Breaks Network, your home for education and entertainment, righteousness and ratchetness, where we are never content with just content. No breaks.
What up,
Whole time.
Guys! JB, what's the name of the podcast?
It's A Pod Named Kickback. A Pod Named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the
whole thing.
The whole thing. Welcome back to A Pod Named Kickback. I got something new for y'all this week. Let me get it ready. Let me get it ready. I am No Breaks New, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Each and every week, we right back at it. I am the Black Sabbath, the Magneto of my people. And I pulled power from the pavement. I went from ashes to aura, and I turned dust into this dynasty. But I did not do this alone. And with me, as always, are the co-creators of this very moment. We can start with a familiar face, Jacq. Talk to him.
Let's get fit with Jacq and you snatch. All right, y'all. It's almost less than 30 days till summer. So if you've been slacking, get on it. If you've been doing your thing, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, we're running out of time to get that somebody right.
Right around the corner.
Jacq can get you right, so make sure you follow her. Make sure you subscribe, watch her on YouTube. If you're not going to get in and do the exercises with her, it's still a good watch. I'm just saying.
Hey.
And we have a special guest this week. She was actually one of our first guests back in 2012-ish.
Hey.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we're doing a full circle moment, bringing her back. Heidi B is in the building. Please introduce yourself to the kickbackers.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Heidi B. As he said, I was here before, and I was during like my pageant reign. I was doing Miss United States and USA, and I was able to grace him with this podcast and really helped me put a platform and exposure to the pageantry world that I had just started getting into. So thanks again for having me then, and full circle moment now.
Yes, we love to see beautiful faces, beautiful Black women doing their thing.
Right, you too,
I thought you was talking about me this first. Oh, to my her.
Our kings are good. Our kings are good too. You gotta make sure the kings are good.
Now, I want to start with our high low, man. So let me pull up my drizzle. Then we're gonna see how everybody's week has been.
Now, high low. Who wants to go first?
Well, actually, we can do a funny one. Yeah, tell us what's your high the last 13 years, and what was your low of the last? Not playing. What's your high of the week? What's your low of the week?
She was like, wait a minute.
I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I would say for this week though, because it's a little bit more refreshed. I actually went to Disney for the first time and Universal Studios, which was great. I think my high was actually Universal and the low was Disney. I was waiting for like that magical princess moment. And I just felt like it was a little bougie. It's like, you have to get an appointment with the princess. You got to go through this line, go through this hula hoop. I was like, I just wanted a picture in the castle with a princess. Like, that's all I really wanted. And I didn't get any of that. I got pictures of castles in the background, but no princesses. So I want to say that was my low. But I did make up a Universal, all the 3D adventures and stuff. So, and whoever the guy was at Universal that noticed my girlfriend and I were not chaperones and let us get into the skip line. And so we bypassed about 200 kids and waited like 2 minutes to get on the ride. I love it for that.
Really?
Listen.
Children.
They were in groups. They wanted to hang out with their friends. They didn't want to get split up. So because
that
it was
makes
just
sense.
so it was just the two of us. So we were able just to hop on really quick in between, for that one seat that was still left over that they couldn't fill. So we did it, and we were able to ride a couple extra rides because of it. So I'm not mad. That'll be my high.
All right.
Yes,
My sisters. Yes.
Listen, he was. I wish I knew his name. He walked by too fast. They really need to wear name tags. Like, it would have been better because I would love to shout him out.
Now, was there a low?
Disney disappointed me. I'm honestly, I didn't have a really low week besides I didn't see no Disney princesses. So that was really it. Because I'm a Disney girl, Belle, Jasmine. I was definitely that, and I didn't see any of them. So I guess next time.
Man.
Yeah.
That damn Disney.
I know, right?
They need to upgrade.
Right. I'm pretty sure there's worse lows out there, but yeah, that was mine.
All right. What up, Randy T? I know you out there in them streets. Like you vacationing with the boo. So shout out to you. What up, Burger?
Mm-hmm.
We glad to see you here every week. What up, L? I knew you'd be here. Shout out to everybody tuned in. We are exclusively videos on YouTube now, so we're not on Facebook no more. So people on Facebook like, where are you? Come to YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the Kickbackers and the Disney princesses are all at YouTube. Find us here.
Right. Upgrade.
Now, okay. Jacq, talk to us. What was your high? What was your low?
My high is just I'm still on my spiritual high. Like everything that I'm speaking, I'm manifesting is coming immediately. I'm more in tune with myself. I'm getting more reception from my ancestors, people that are my spiritual warriors on the other side. So I'm feeling good.
Hey, I love that.
Beautiful. And she's been coming back with stuff every week, and me and Randy been sitting there listening to her like, where'd you get that from? Who's in your ear? Like, yeah, my spirit guys. Oh, okay, all right.
It's like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. You're a whole new person. But it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to witness. I'm saying my low of the week, and I'm gonna take this time to apologize for both of us. My low of the week was last episode. Me and Randy getting into our little bickering match. That's my cousin. I love him. He loved me. We texting right now. So on behalf of both of us, I want to apologize for that little thing that happened last week. Neither one of us wanted to put y'all in the middle of that. Kickbackers, you tune in to have a good show, a fun show. Sometimes it get heated. That's a good thing.
I applaud that.
I love that. I love that accountability, the apology. Yeah. I love it.
So that was my low. Randy, I love you. My high of the week. I'm gonna say my high of the week was what do I want to use? I will go with boom. I'm gonna go with this. Randy T saying we family for life. That's gonna be my high of the week. That's my high of the week.
That's right.
Boom.
That's right.
I ain't trying to make me crash. Cut it out.
Keep doing it.
Oh, y'all now burger gentlemen, we love y'all both. Oh, God damn it, man. I feel like I'm on an episode of This Is Us. Yeah, y'all relax. Everybody relax. But let's see. Oh, Lord, we got more hearts. But that's my high and low of the week. Let's think about it. Before we get into the kickback conversation, I was meaning to ask this question every week, and I forget every damn week. And this is a silly just brain teaser. This is kind of get your mind going. Do you guys think that fish can see water?
Can see water?
Yeah. Because essentially they breathe water like we breathe oxygen. But we can't see it. So
when it gets cold, we can.
So can they see the water when it's cold?
I think so. I think they can see water.
Heidi, what you think?
I'm trying to think. It's like, well, when I'm swimming, I open my eyes, I can see water, kind of. I know it's there, but it's clear. I feel like they could. I mean, they're in a whole body of water, so I think they'd be able to see it.
You don't think it would be the same as us with air?
No, because I think you can't, like air by temperature, but water is like liquid, it's wet, so it's different. That's just.
It's, what's the thing? The solid liquid gas. It's all the same, right?
I mean, liquid nitrogen is different, I guess, from.
Okay.
I mean,
there's no right answer. I'm just talking shit. I don't know.
I mean, I used to go fishing with my grandfather, and them fish was trying to get back in the water, so they know what it looked like.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. Maybe they'll notice the color, but they don't really. Yeah, like they probably notice it, especially different colors like darker blues and greens. So that makes sense.
And actually, I kind of know part of the answer because I've been doing this for I've been in the answer for a couple of weeks, and I had a buddy that something. You listen, man, how you doing this question?
I'm with you, Casey. I'm with you.
Real high.
Hey, man, good question on that. Hey, Berg, what you think? Can they see the water, man? Can they see the water? But there are some fish who have, I forget what it's called. It's not fluorescent. It's they kind of lights. Some of them have lights on their forehead, like tentacles.
Oh, the luminescence, yeah.
Boom. See, that's why you hit it, the luminescence. So why have a light if you can't see?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe they see
Big Casey with me. Yep. Thank you, Big Casey.
They say absolutely. All right, so we have declared, we have kickbackers, we have figured out, we have solved the mystery of the universe. Fish can see water.
They can see. I don't know water, but they can see.
Wait a minute. So you're not sure if they can see water?
No, I mean, because if you think about water's clear, if they see a light, they can see the light. They're going to be attracted to it. That's why most animals have it, because they're predators and they eat them, right? And then they can see humans and coral reef and everything like that. But I don't know if they can actually, they know what it is. I don't know if they recognize things, right? But water, they probably do, because they can't breathe in the air. So they try to get back into water. So they have to know something.
But it is jumping around. I don't know. It's jumping around aimlessly with no direction. Like a bunch of white boys at the party dancing. They're just going, just nobody knows what to do.
I mean, if you are suffocating, you're going to probably be reactive too, right?
Right, but that don't mean I'm going to go jump in some oxygen. I'm just going to be trying to get somewhere.
True.
I don't think it's like, shit, water's right there. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe I don't know who to ask. Is there a famous fish person? Aquaman. Somebody, can we get Aquaman on the line?
Can we get Aquaman? I'm done.
Appreciate it.
Can I get his autograph if you get him on the line?
Which one? What's Lisa Bonet's husband? I forget his name.
I don't ask me names because I'm horrible with actors and stuff.
I know you.
Long hair.
That's all you need. Long hair. She said that twice. Long hair. All right.
Long hair, muscles.
Long hair, muscles. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Okay. Well, before we get Heidi B too excited, let's move to the next topic. Now, it's time for our kickback conversation. It's time to get a little more serious, and it's time to really put some thought into it. Oh, I wanted y'all to hear something. I'm gonna let Tupac warm us up first.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
And that's the point of this conversation, is to spark the brain that will change the world. Now, let me see. Do I have this hooked up properly? All right. I'm reading a book called Let Them by The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I'm almost at the end. And ironically, I came up with this topic a few days ago, but as I'm reading it today or listening to the audiobook, she kind of touched on this. And I was like, oh, I got to play a part of this. So I think I have it set up properly. I hope I do. If I do, we'll hear it. If not, my bad.
Look, it's talk about it. To sit here and tell you that, it's easy for me to say, let them go. Let them go. But there's nothing easy about breaking up with someone that you still love. That's when more than ever, you're going to be grateful that you have the let them theory to help you get through it. Surviving heartbreak. I want to speak directly to you.
Oh, this is not it.
Someone who dreams out. Maybe if they would have had every single couple has fit therapy, things would have turned out differently. Because even if it didn't end up keeping them together, it would have made the process of breaking up and the aftermath of separating the kids involved a hell of a lot easier. And look, I hope you can make it work. I hope that you're in a relationship that can improve and grow and will stand the test of time and bring out the best in you. But at some point, if you've just gone around and around and around, it means finding the courage to believe in that deep intuition inside of you that something about this just no longer fits. You know it. You've just been terrified to admit it to yourself. Sometimes you have to end things before they end you. If you know what your dreams are in life, you deserve and need relationships that support you in achieving them. If you stay with someone who doesn't share the same hopes and dreams that you have, it will make you both miserable. And look, it's easy for me to sit here and tell you that. It's easy for me to say, let them go. Let them go. But there's nothing easy about breaking up with someone that
That's just a portion of the book that I was listening to earlier that kind of got me thinking. Oh, we have some updates on the fish, I think. Let's see. Greg says the water I fish is not clear. The water he fishes in isn't clear.
Yeah, correct. That is not.
And Google says neither fish nor humans can see water. We can see liquor. I can clearly see that. Oh, I mean, not me. That's Heidi who's drinking that. I don't know what's going on.
This is water.
Right. Don't be trying to put it on.
I can see it. I see her water.
This is water. Okay.
I see her water. Did y'all see her water? But back to the topic. No, I wanted to talk about knowing when to say goodbye, not necessarily how to say goodbye. I don't want to get into the Boyz II Men shit. It's so hard to say goodbye, but just recognizing the signs. It's a book I read years ago called "Who Moved My Cheese," and there are 4 characters. There are 2 mice in the book and 2 miniature humans, and their whole world is a maze. Is built on cheese. They have cheese houses. The clothes are made of cheese. Their food is cheese. The roadways are cheese. And then they had a certain amount of cheese they chose to eat. And Sniff and Scurry, Sniff will always sniff around to see if there was the cheese was going bad, or if the supply was running low, or if they needed to move to a different part of the maze. Scurry, like when you scurry around, move it pretty quickly. And so Sniff would, we run out of cheese. Scurry along and see where the next big block of cheese is, and Scurry would just run and try to locate it. So they always try to stay a step ahead of the game. And the 2 humans' names were him and Ha. And all they did was him and Ha. And they complained, why the cheese going bad again? Why they keep moving our cheese? We good people. Why they doing this to us? This is so messed up. And they would just sit in that moment of him and Han and never moving, never being reactive, never knowing when to say goodbye. They just complained about the need to say goodbye, or complained about being in that situation. And I wanted to kind of drop that today because what I've done a pretty good job of as of late is sniffing out when things need to change, sniffing out when I need to change, sniffing out when I need to move, and then scurrying along to do that. Not waiting until the other shoe drops, not waiting until something bad really happens. And I think that that's a skill that will serve all of us, knowing when to leave that job, knowing when that relationship is not going to lead to marriage or whatever you want, knowing when that friendship is over, knowing when I've compromised myself to be here, knowing Dr. Nidra Moses has a book called Set Boundaries and Find Peace. And she talks about setting boundaries. And sometimes when you set a boundary, you'll lose a relationship, you'll lose a job, you'll lose a passion, whatever it is, but you have to have that boundary. And having a boundary is like, that's like Will Smith misses the shot collar, be like, bzzz, something ain't right. You get that little tingling, bzzz, something ain't right. You have a boundary set up and somebody or something crosses that boundary, bzzz, you get that shot. That's how you know when to move on, know when to let go, know when to say goodbye. But you have to have the boundary up. So the boundary established so it can be crossed. So you get that bzzz, and you know when to make that move. That's my 2 cents on knowing when to say goodbye, no matter what the relationship is. But actually, Heidi B, you are our guest today. So I'm going to put you and kind of get your interpretation on this whole knowing when to say goodbye. And it doesn't, in any situation.
I think that like the biggest thing is when it's not serving you anymore, when it becomes a task, when it becomes detrimental to like your mental, your spirit, is when those are, it should be cut off before then because you'll see the signs. But if you're dreading to go see the person you're dating or you're dreading to go to work, I think at that point, you have to start making steps to get out of it. Work is might be a little challenging, especially if it's financial needs for you. You can't just always walk away from that so easily. But in relationships, you know, when you are being disrespected, if you're not being heard or not being seen in that relationship, I'm really big on when they show you who they are, believe it. You know, if you see like snake tendencies, they're probably going to be a snake at some point. You know, even if it's not directly with you, it could be with their friends or their family or with business. I'm like, what's going to stop them from some point doing that to you? So at the end of the day, I think, one is just trusting your intuition. And then mostly important, if it's no longer serving its purpose for you to make you a better person, or if it's not allowing you to grow, it's time to cut it off.
I would agree. If it's not serving you, if it's not serving your purpose, that's a pretty telltale sign. Like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? Kickbackers, I want y'all to let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to bring Jacq up and let her give us her thoughts on this, when to say goodbye.
Yes, definitely piggybacking off of Heidi. It's three things that I check in with myself, because for one, you have to realize that you can only control yourself in any situation, friendship, love, interest, job, whatever. But I think a lot of times we don't do these things. So there's three things that I check in with: my intuition. And a lot of people, if you're not working on yourself and you're not in tune with yourself, a lot of intuition you're not going to catch. So you have to be doing the work on yourself in order to really see the signs and really listen to your gut, what they call a gut feeling, which is your intuition. I also check my energy level. My energy level is low, then I know this is not where I need to be. Also, I check in with my peace and I ask one question: how is this contributing to my peace? So those three things is going to tell you everything you need to know. And we are built off of vibrational energy. And I think a lot of times we get so wrapped up in social media, what people are telling us. We go to other people to find out what we need to do when we have it all within ourselves. And we have to check our levels, check our energy, check our peace, and check our intuition.
I can dig it. I hope this has been helpful. I wanted to kind of hear, okay, we do have a comment here. Let's see. Intuition is everything. Trust your spirit.
Yes, ma'am.
Intuition is everything.
It will never lie to you.
It's been a few times where I'm just like, you feel something. You know what I'm saying? You get like, it's the shot collar. Bzzz,
and you disregard it.
And just go, that was nothing.
Right.
It must go by, and you dug yourself into a hole. What I started doing, I used to be really good at this, is I'm not waiting for you. I can't wait for you to figure it out. If I know, let's say I'm telling Jacq, Heidi up to no good. She's bad for us. Gotta get rid of Heidi. And she's like, no, I think she's cool. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to let you go then. I ain't got time for you to figure it out. I've gotten burned so many times by people who I had to damn near force feed the information. I can't afford to wait for you to figure it out. I got to make the move I got to make. And that goes to boundary. Like, it's not that, I'm not ending friendships necessarily behind this, but I am trading lightly around people who don't understand what I've already understood. Like, I literally cannot afford to pay the price for you to find out later. It's going to cost me too much. And I think sometimes I've had friends that have done some of the most despicable things. If I told you what they did, you'd be like, dog, y'all were still friends? And I'm like, well, we had this big friend group. It's like 8, 9 of us. Like, if I kick this person out, everybody's losing you know what I'm saying? Like, it's other people in the situation. I can't just end the friendship. They're going to be there tomorrow. They're going to be when I go over here next week. They're going to be at the next function.
No, it's okay.
But how is that affecting you, though? How is that affecting you?
Exactly. It tore me up. I think I have a little bit of trauma from that shit for real. Because I started going, everybody was cool with this motherfucker doing all this shit to me? Everybody was cool?
That's what I was going to pick up on. At some point, if they're your friend and they hear both sides of the story, they should be able to respect that. Like, you can no longer entertain that person the same way you used to, you know? And if they don't have that issue with them because they never encountered that conflict, that's on them. But to pitch you in a situation when you're constantly around a person who has blatantly disrespected you, mistreated you, abused you, or whatever, you know, they're not your friends either. And you should reconsider them too, you know, and saving face sometimes just kind of backfires in yours. So I think it's always better to make sure that you have peace in this situation, and really analyze what it is, right? Is it the pros, the cons? Is it worth salvaging? Is it worth putting up with just for the greater good of the group? And if it's not, they should just respect your decision too. You know, you're a part of that.
Absolutely.
And we got to realize that we go through
Bodyguard.
changes through life. We go through different levels of our life. Not everybody's going to be able to go to those levels. So you got to be able to let that person go, because you're not going to get to that next level unless you shed some weight.
Exactly.
So you have to do what's best for you.
Absolutely. And that doesn't sound selfish. I think a lot of people think that's a selfish concept, but making sure that you're mental good, you're emotionally good. If not, you're just going to be toxic to someone else. That's right. Everyone cannot come, you know? So I think that's important to make sure that you're doing your self-check. And at the end of the day, if, again, people are not serving you the way that you should, or if they're not reciprocating your same energy, it's okay to let them go.
Now, if you want to hold on, let's listen. It's going to hurt till you let go.
I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go.
It's going to hurt until you let go. So you can go through that if you want to, but it is going to hurt until you let go, because you've gotten the intuition, you got the gut feeling. Look, the universe, like, listen, I'm giving you all the signs. I don't know what else. Now I gotta watch you suffer in pain because you won't let go.
Yeah, listen, stupid.
Right. Before we switch lanes, really quickly, I want to apply this to a job or a business, because when I was younger, I literally begged to keep a job that couldn't even pay my bills. I couldn't even pay my bills with the job, but I begged to keep it. And then I went and got something better and was like, why was I there? I was begging to keep a fucking job, because you get into the, sometimes, especially when you're young and just getting into the corporate world, you don't, I didn't feel like there was a billion jobs available to me. I got this good job, I need to keep it. You know, and even though it wasn't doing everything I needed to do, I got this good job. And I just didn't want to walk away. And I've just realized, like, you can walk away from a job. You can walk away from a career. You can, like, those are things you need to walk away to if they don't serve you. This isn't just about a person or people. Sometimes it's, why am I here? Why am I busting my ass here to make you rich? And it's not, you know, I'm not respected. I'm not getting a promotion. I don't get the time off needed. You know, whatever it is. So I throw it to y'all if anybody wants to jump in on that. I just wanted to make sure.
I think a lot of people get caught up in distractions, right? Sometimes it's that title and that position and that job. And they're scared to take that leap of faith of something that could be better for them. And I think that happens not just in business and relationships. It's like, oh, if I just do this one thing, they'll appreciate me or they'll like me better or whatever the case may be. I think business and jobs are a lot easier because there's not a lot of emotional attachment to it. You might have, like, I just put in 5-10 years in this company. I feel some type of way. I was loyal to them. They weren't loyal to me. But I think once you realize businesses are about the bottom line and you're exposable, you're dispendable. So once you start looking at jobs and businesses like that, it's a lot easier to make those decisions to walk away. And not think anything of it, because at the end of the day, if you built up your skill set and you're amazing at what you do, and sometimes if you're mediocre at your job, they still get good positions too. You're still going to have that availability to get another job. So
that's right.
I see it two different ways as well, because society has, I mean, things have changed now, but back in the day, society was more of like longevity showed success. So when they looked at your resume, they didn't want to see any gap. They wanted to see that you was at a job for at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It looked better with time. So we got comfortable in that. And that's what we look for. And that's what we strive for, to keep the job. Even our parents that, you know, stay on that job. That job is good. You get these benefits, and so, and they gave you perks if you stayed on the job a long time. So we got into the hamster wheel, a lot of people with the job market, because that's what we were raised and told how we were to be successful is to show longevity in the job that you have. Even with some people that stay in marriages, they're miserable, but they got family that, no, stay with that man or stay with that woman. Y'all been together such years. You got all these kids and all this, but they're not happy. But they want to be able to say, oh, I've been married 25 years or 30 years or 35 years, but they haven't been happy. So you have to do what's best for you. And you just have to, because I've been in a job. I remember I was at Delta Airlines, and there was this person that actually trained me, and he ended up becoming my lead. Wasn't the best lead, but this is exactly how our one-on-one went. Oh, I see people follow you, and people respect you, but you intimidate some people. You might need to dumb yourself down if you want to get to where I'm at. I said, well, I don't want to get to where you are. I'm cool where I'm at. So people put things on you and make you feel like you need to be doing this and that, but I stood my ground because I'm not dumbing myself down. I don't care what people think because I'm already doing a great job. So whatever your perspective is, or that's what you want for my life or for my job. Right. I don't want that. I see how stressed out y'all are. I'm staying where I'm at. So, you have to do what's best for you, because just like there are angels that come into your life, demons come too. And they could be as your friends, family, and everything else, and they will tear you down if you don't choose what's best for you, whether it be a job, relationship, anything. Because a lot of times people keep you in them jobs because they have more, how can I say this? Sometimes people keep you at a certain level at a job so that they can elevate.
Exactly. They'll take credit for your work. Exactly.
Right. So as long as they can keep you in that space, or they can make you feel like you don't deserve anything else better, then they're winning. So you have to do what's best for you.
Absolutely. And in my nation and 5%ers, we talk about not getting caught up in somebody else's equality. So even if I'm teaching you enough information to get you here, that should not be your ceiling. You shouldn't. When I stop teaching, should not be where you stop reaching. You should still keep going, even if I'm stuck. You should still try to go above that. And we have one more comment. Elle says, losing a job can be a blessing in disguise. If you won't leave, the universe will force you to.
And on the piggyback off of just somebody's ceiling and somebody's floor. Just remember that.
Take that part.
All right. Well, let's get into let's transition a little bit. I want to get into our viral story of the week. Oh, Lord. That man been seeming on his nipples.
My left stroke just went viral.
Heidi B's college boyfriend, Diddy, is in the news because he...
That's my boo. I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm riding for him. I'm standing by him.
You might pull up on me. You better chill out. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on.
I'm going to stick beside him.
I had to put that job in there. But Cassie took the stand last week, and she came out swinging. First of all, I want to say one thing about that. I thought that Cassie was fair. I believe she was genuine. I thought it was authentic. I didn't think she was putting on. I didn't think she was trying to add extras. She painted what she called Sean in a good light at times and in a horrible light at times. But it wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was an agenda. And when she first made the, the lawsuit or whatever, years ago, I was like, oh, this is a money grab. This is a money grab. She just wants some money. And she got the money, okay, cool. But seeing her on stand and the way she conducted herself, it don't feel like a money grab to me. It feels like you did me wrong. I should be compensated for that. I don't wish you death. I don't wish the world ends with you. I'm going to be fair and honest. And I think her testimony was very compelling in that regard. Now, y'all boy Diddy a freak. I posted last week.
You wrote Cassie a freak too.
Cassie a freak too. Cassie a freak too. I was like, no. So I'm vanilla. Like I consider myself like the freakiest niggas I know. You're like, you do what? And you did what? And you did shame on you. And I'm like, dog, I ain't did nothing like this boy got. Oh man. Well, before I go into my jokes and shit, is there anything about the testimony from last week that stuck out to you, Jacq? Before I start getting my jokes off.
I just appreciate and I admire her husband standing beside her through all of this. I look at it differently. I think this is really her. I see you, Big Casey.
You don't know it's not a joke, but maybe it's a joke. The way that Jacq sticks with Meech and the BMF crew, she's from Atlanta, and the way that every episode that comes out, she seems to know what's going to happen before the episode. But I'm not saying she's a part of BMF. I am just saying that she must be well read on the subject. But anyway, back to you, Jacq.
But I think that I mean, a lot of people are looking at why is she coming out now? What is she saying? Why does she take the money and all this? I think that this is great for her healing. A lot of times when you go through, when you've been abused, whether it be sexually, physically, or whatever, the one thing that helps your healing is facing your accuser, letting them know how you feel, letting them know how it affected you, and just standing up to them. So I really don't feel like it. I never thought it was a money grab when she first came out. I just felt like she was just going through her healing. She's starting a new chapter. She got a husband. She got kids. She's pregnant again. I just think she just wants to get that off of her.
I agree. Heidi, I wanted to know what was the biggest thing you took away from the trial? Like I said, before I get to these jokes.
So I would say the one thing that stood out, and I kind of got a little information just reading stories. One thing that she stated is that the purpose of her tell-all book was that it was almost like her letter to Diddy saying, hey, this is how you made me feel. I want you to hear my side. All I really wanted was that apology, right? And I think having that conversation, he scrapped the book, kind of maybe felt like she was entitled to compensation. I don't really think that was ever her true agenda. Yes and no. Like, yeah, I want to be compensated for the abuse and stuff like that, but I don't think it was supposed to be like some huge money grab. But for a person who had been in an abusive relationship, I think my relatability was like, I wanted that apology, right? I wanted you to like understand what I was going through, how you made me feel, how it's affected me. And sometimes in that situation, you're able to get that apology. But one thing that helped me in that situation when I went through therapy and everything like that, I remember my therapist saying, it's like, you have to accept the fact that you may not. You're gonna have to accept the fact that his actions, he didn't care. He did that intentionally. He didn't care how you made him feel or whatever. So always looking for that apology and maybe over explaining yourself. I felt that it resonated with me the most because I saw myself in her. And I hope that she gets that apology. I hope that she feels seen and understood in that situation. And I think that at one point, in any relationship, you're willing to go above and beyond, maybe do some things you're not comfortable with, and then you're kind of stuck and it gets worse. And it's like, you may not want to do those things anymore. And it's kind of that little bit of toxic manipulation. And at the end of the day, I am so happy that she had the courage to speak out. I'm glad this is probably part of her healing process. And I hope that between now and time that she really finds peace with the whole situation and it doesn't, really traumatize her as much as it did or has been so far. So that's my perspective on it.
I can dig it.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Definitely. But she still hasn't done her apology. She still hasn't done her apology.
And I don't think she will. I just don't.
Think she will either.
And I hope that's not going to be the closure she needs to heal. I hope she can accept the fact that those actions that he did they were intentional, whether he thought whether it was malicious or not. And some of them were extremely cruel, but he didn't see anything wrong with what he did because he continued to do it on multiple occasions. So I think she should just accept them as those actions, and it's the past at that point because she's not going to get an apology.
And probably not a sincere one if she did get one, to be honest.
Right. I truly hope that for her. I hope that he may come around at least, maybe if it's just, I apologize for the way I made you feel. I hope that's something that she can at least get closure on.
Absolutely. I want to send a shout out to all women, all our sisters out there that have dealt with some level of domestic violence, abuse, manipulation, and was stuck in Stockholm syndrome, and people don't understand why they didn't leave and all that crap. It's not as easy as it looks. We just talked about not leaving a job. Some of y'all can't even leave a job. You wonder why somebody can't leave somebody they love and that takes care of them and putting them in a position of power. So it's not as easy. If it was, we wouldn't have a whole conversation about how to know when to leave if leaving was so damn easy.
Yeah, I think her situation's a lot different than a lot, right? You know, you have the thing when she got involved with him, she was 19. She got locked into a 10-album deal, you know, not realizing the extent of what a 10-album deal really looks like. And in perspective, you got to think of Beyonce, who has 8 albums, right? And she's been in the industry for 20 years, you know, that's literally a life sentence in the music industry.
Damn, yeah.
You know, and it could have felt like she got trapped. She literally had 9 songs that got scrapped and put under a mat because of manipulation. You know, he literally cut off a way for her to make money that she had to depend on him. And she had no friends. She had no real family. Well, not real family, but she was isolated. That's a lot of the things what abusers do to people so that they depend on them. So again, like, it hurts my heart hearing that people are so insensitive about the situation. And at the end of the day, she was focused on her career. You know, I think a lot of people would have stuck around a little bit in their career to make sure that album goes out. They might do maybe something not uncomfortable. They may not be comfortable to kind of push that. And unfortunately, she just happened to be one of the most powerful people in the industry that completely just trashed it. She's like, oh, he's like, you're mine. You're not making music. You're going to be my muse. And there's really nothing you can do about it. So I'm pretty sure that was something that she had to think about and live with too. So I hope she comes out with music eventually, right? If that was really what she wanted to do. But it's so disheartening to see how much she's gone through and so many layers of what's going on with the nature of their relationship.
Yeah, and let me take off my glasses so y'all can see what I'm saying. Social media. I have a thing where whenever one of these stories comes out, I witness a slew of black men making all these negative posts about black women because they're choosing Diddy's side or whoever's side. Then I see a slew of black women making disparaging posts about black men because they're choosing Cassie's side or whoever's side. And it's so disheartening to see the gender war come up with any damn thing. I don't know how watching what's going on between Diddy and Cassie has women making posts. I hate men. Look what y'all doing. This, and then men going, I'm sick of these bitches. Da, da, da. Like, how does everything turn back to us hating each other? Like we have some unhealed traumas. I love women. I love women like the old school love women. I love women like love women. And I don't get mad at women when they, even if they have a different take. You know what I'm saying? Like Cassie is still a woman. Cassie a black woman. So I don't like any of what happened to her. And I try my best to stand up in every situation for my sisters, including on this podcast. But I don't like being lumped with whoever, with Mike and Bill that she was fucking arguing with on Facebook yesterday. I'm not them.
Right.
I ain't them. You know,
yeah, it shows a lot of just like emotional intelligence when it comes to both women and men, right? And sometimes if you see something, it becomes normalized, right? You know, the way you speak to someone, the way you may physically handle a person. And I think in a lot of communities, just not the Black community, a lot of that's been normalized. You know, the yelling, the poor communication, the manipulation of taking something away to prove a point. And a lot of people's perspectives show that they have not always been in healthy dynamics when it comes to parenting or relationships or siblings. So when you're so quick to tear someone down or so quick to pass judgment on a person, you know, it shows a lot about your character, you know, or it may be a situation that you were in that you haven't really healed from, that you're projecting your perspective on other person. And that's just not fair. And I think that with social media, a lot of people are those cyberbullies that, you know, they are Twitter thugs where they can say a lot of things behind the screen, but would you really be that insensitive in front of a person if they were right in front of you, showing their emotion about what they went through? I don't think it would be the same, you know? So I would hope that people in social media eventually is like, hey, give humans some grace, you know, because again, you don't know all the details, and just one-sided perspective is just not cool.
And then we got to be wary of the clout chasers. A lot of people are just responding in a negative way just to get engagement. They don't care about what's going on. They just want somebody to comment and have 300 comments underneath what they said. So they're going to say something that triggers anything. If everybody's going with, everybody's going with Cassie this week, then somebody's going to say, oh, no, but Cassie, we're going with Dick. Like, it's just for them to get engagement. So I really don't pay attention to a lot of social media stuff because a lot of people are traumatized. A lot of people are speaking from a triggered heart. So, there's comments out there, but for me, if I have a conversation with like family and friends and there's, someone is going with one way, then the opposite, I try because like Heidi, because I've been in a physical abuse relationship, I can speak on, okay, I understand how you feel, but as a woman and being through that, I can see, like, even when I told you, when we were talking about the video, I said how she balled up, that's survivor mode. She didn't want to fight him back. That was survivor mode, period. When you've gone through stuff like that, you just know, and you can see a different side of things and how she reacted and how she, at any point when you're in that type of relationship, you don't want to trigger that person. You don't want them to become physical with you. So you do things that you normally don't do. You shortchange yourself. You dumb yourself down. You walk on eggshells because you want to make sure, especially like she was saying with that whole hotel footage, she had an event to go to. So now at this point, she's probably thinking, I can't have my face so messed up. I have an event. So I have to protect how I look because, for one, he's not going to want nobody to know that this is going on. And if somebody finds out, it's still going to be on me. He's still going to punish me. So I have to do whatever I need to do to make sure he still looks good, no matter what. So,
and that's so tragic. It's so tragic.
It's very tragic, but a lot of people are not looking at that side of things because they haven't been in situations like that. But for me, I try to educate people because they might not know that side of things. They might not even think about that. So I try to just educate people from just my perspective as far as being a woman that's been in that type of situation and knowing that a lot of things that she's doing, why she didn't say nothing, or why did she stay, or why did she keep doing the freak offs? That woman was trapped. She was trapped. When you're trapped, you're going to do things that you don't want to do. Just like if you go into survivor mode. What Tupac say? I'm not a killer, but don't push me. If your family is if you have to protect your family, you might not want to kill nobody, but if you have to, you will. It's not that you want to. It's just that, listen, I have to protect my family, and nothing comes above that. So she had to protect herself, and really, the sad part about it is she had to protect him and his image.
Right. Because it was going to blow back on her.
Exactly.
Diddy is a monster. I don't think there's no way to get around that part. Diddy's a fucking and it's like, I remember this came up. I don't know where the study was done, but it was some thing like with rape victims, and this is trigger warning. Like if a rape victim enjoyed the sex, like had a physical reaction to the sex, it's still rape. You know what I'm saying? Did Cassie like the freak offs? I'm sure some part of it she liked. I would think, but that don't mean she wanted to be there. That doesn't mean that she wasn't there against her will. That doesn't mean that she wasn't manipulated into being there.
Right. I mean, she was also drugged up a lot of the times too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't realize with women anatomy, just the way we are created, that if there's any sexual arousal, our body reacts to it. Whether we're in a flight or fight mode, our body is going to naturally react to someone trying to have sex with you. It's in that, procreation mode. So regardless of how scared you are, how hard you're being hit, your body's still going to react in a sexual way. And it's so misleading because you can hear stories of women who've been raped and they're like, well, I had an orgasm, but I didn't want to do that. Again, our bodies are different from men. So again, like, it's a lot of ignorance in comments and not really understanding how people operate or our bodies operate. And you're so quick to pass judgment because like, if I was in that situation, that wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have came. I wouldn't have been wet. I wouldn't have been this. I was like, how would you know? Because you've never been in that situation. And it's just like, it's just a really messed up, insensitive entire situation for everyone, because like when you victim blame and then people project their perspective on a person that's literally just trying to like protect themselves and not have to relive a situation.
And to piggyback off what you said, I've heard them stories as far as rape victims as well. And the most disheartening thing is that's mentally, it's almost like they're mentally messed up because they're blaming themselves. Why did I have an orgasm? Why was I wasn't turned on? Like, why did my body react like that? I don't have control over my body. Like, it's a lot of things that they have to deal with mentally because they're trying to understand, why did my body react like that when I was not in a happy space? I did not want that. But their abuser is thinking that they want it because of how their body is reacting. So it's a lot of mentally things that they have to recover from with dealing all of that. So it's deeper than just what we see with a video. It's deeper than what we see or our thoughts and, oh, it's money and all that. It's really deeper mentally and physically of what's going on and what that person had to endure. She endured this over 10 years. I'm just happy that she's even be able to come out of this and be able to get into another relationship or marriage and have kids. Because a lot of people don't even want to have kids. So it's deeper than what social media is putting out there. Like, people are not thinking about that. But it's a lot. It's just, I'm just happy that she's able to go through her healing with this, and she has a very supportive husband, and she's still able to enjoy life and have kids with another man.
Yeah, shout out. I think it's Alex Fine. And I'll let y'all peek into the fellas group chat. We was in the group chat discussing the conversation and have like, man, this is terrible. I can't believe she went through this. He had to doing that, and the husband is in the courtroom listening to this shit. Like, you know, I know he's got to be suffering. You know, did she tell him all of this beforehand? Did he find out in court? Like, whatever it was. And then to read his statement where he's like, you know, it's over. We're done. Court is over. You know, my wife is strong. I'm not the strong person that did all this. She did it. She stood up to him. She made this happen. Giving her all the credit and kudos. And my boy said, a homie got a first class ticket to heaven. He got a first class because he went through all of this with her. He's the one that, well, he says don't give him credit, but she left with him. So he at least played a role in getting her out of that situation. Then he married her. And from all, you know, accounts, he's loving her. They're having children. They built a family. And he was there in court every day, even listening to that bullshit. Because I don't even know if I could listen to some of the things about the freak-offs, the guys pissing in her mouth and just all that crazy.
But the great thing about that is, and why I say I admire him, is because you can tell that they've gone through together collectively. They've already handled a lot of this before going to the court. So that's why they're a strong unit in court, because they're not going to let it. He's heard all of that. Nothing that they say in that court is going to deter him from being by her side, because he knows what she's gone through. He's wiped her tears plenty of nights, probably plenty of times that she didn't want to have.
That's why he's because every man can't do that.
Intimate. Like, there's probably been times that she didn't even want to be intimate with him because of things that she's gone through, and he's been patient enough to let her go through her healing and be able, you know, and be patient with her to have kids, to be intimate. So it's a lot, and I think a lot of people are so worried about, oh, I couldn't be, but he is showing that he is supporting her no matter what. They've done their own work, so anything that goes on after today and in court, they're prepared for it. And I love it.
We're not going to act like this some little shit.
No, I mean, it's a big deal. And
I'm just giving them credit for being able to deal with that, because that's a fucking lot. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's a lot. And again, I'm very happy that she's been blessed with someone that can really withstand a lot of the things that she faced. And he's been a support system for her, because like you said, a lot of people couldn't handle that, you know? So although she went through a lot, she was blessed with a person that can help her persevere through the situation. And at the end of the day, it was still her decision to pull out. It was still her decision to find peace and find healing. But it's always good to know that, you know, he was there in a positive impact on her healing process.
Yeah, and in closing out, I'll just end it with, real men don't fall in love, we stand up in it. So shout out to Alex Fine for standing up in it. And social media, Berger says, is all about pick a side, who's right or wrong. I agree. Everybody just want to pick a side and get the debate going and be as controversial as they could be what they call it, but they want to be different from everybody else. I forget the damn term. They want to be a contrarian. They just want to be contrarian. So, you know, be what you want to be. But if I have to check you on social media, I definitely will. Remember that part. As we switch gears to our what the fuck story of the week, I think it's only appropriate we listen to me sing. Me.
Oh boy.
All right, our what the fuck story of the week. It's something that I think a lot of us already thought anyway, but to be fair, I'll present it this way. Kelsey, we're speaking about the Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion trial that resulted in a conviction of Tory Lanez getting 9 years in prison for possession of a firearm and reckless endangerment, not for shooting Meg. I want to be clear on that. That wasn't a charge. It was possession and reckless endangerment, and I believe maybe one other charge. At any rate, he's been in jail for the last couple of years. He's supposed to do another 6 or 7. There was Meg, Tory, and Meg's girlfriend Kelsey, which we all know now that Tory was dating both of them, or fucking both of them, however you want to put it. And Kelsey's bodyguard, security, has come out to say that he's heard Kelsey mention the fact that she shot Meg, that she was the one with the gun, and Tory tried to, of course, take the gun from her or what have you. And that brings up a couple of different points. Even if you don't believe Meg is lying, she was, at least, if you go by this theory, misinformed. She was drunk. She didn't see who shot her. She thought she saw what she saw, but she wasn't sure. Her being so, he shot me, it gives a reasonable pause. Like, how are you so sure when they shot you in the back of the ankle? When you're like this, like, what were you doing to see it? Mm-hmm. And if she is telling the truth, and that's her truth, that's what she thinks happened, that's one thing. Or she just straight up lied. Then that begs the question, did her and Kelsey get together to make sure neither one of them got in trouble behind this stuff? Put it all on Tory. Did Tory take a bullet for no reason? Meaning not an actual bullet, a metaphorical.
But the charge,
the charge. Did he do this for no reason? He said he sent a message to Jason Lee. Actually, if I can find it, I want y'all to hear what Jason Lee. I want him to read what Tory actually said. Let me see if I can find it.
Some time ago, I never like to put receipts up.
What happened?
No, go ahead. You can play it. I'll say it afterwards.
Man, free him. I'm gonna tell you exactly what Tory said to me. Hold on.
Can y'all hear it?
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Let me go back to the pre-stabbing dates. Hold on.
Oh God.
Tory Lanez. Okay. In the text message between Tory and I said, yo. He said, what's good? I said, how you surviving that bullshit? Wish we could have sat down before you left. Because me and him hung out with Madonna when they were messing around. Don't believe me? Take a look at this photo.
Okay, Madonna.
Said, yeah,
right, Madonna getting all the young guys. She a cougar for real.
Went to the text messages. Mm-hmm. Then we started to text message each other. I said, how are you? How you been? He said, incredible, in very high spirits and preparing to physically come home this year. I said, when? I need to come in there and get an interview, LOL. He said, I can't say exact days, but I know I'll be home this year. I said, how long you been gone? I'm so confused by your case. He said, actually, I have a crazy plan when I get back that I think you should know and be a part of because I'm only going to do one interview. And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be.
Okay, well, somebody just. Oh, that sucks.
DM me some time ago.
Let's see if I can get back to that specific point.
And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be a part of that plan. He said, it's honestly a bunch of suppressed evidence that was kept away from me during trial. I said, Wack told me that, but didn't say what. He said, like, through trial, they keep saying it was inconclusive on the gun DNA, but I always knew I never touched the gun, so I asked my lawyer to retest it, and sure enough, I was 102% excluded completely from everything, just like I said. I said, well, why didn't you just say who did it? Doing time for something you ain't do. He said, I took the rap for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail, and I never wanted Megan to get hurt or anything. So in me stopping her from getting shot, I got the raw deal. Crazy how life works. And to think they made me the poster boy for the unprotection of black women, when in all honesty, I protected 2 black women, one from getting shot and one from going to jail. Never said nothing in 8 to 10 years for them to live. It's a crazy, crazy place we live in. I said, but why you ain't just say that? I got shot, I told. And he said, I lost my mother at 11 years old. I couldn't sleep with myself. I was the reason for taking a mother away from her kid. I just couldn't do it.
And that's from Tory Lanez.
And I always felt that he protected Kelsey because Kelsey was pregnant during that trial. And I think he did not want her to go through that or go to jail because she was pregnant.
Yeah, go ahead, Heidi.
So here's my 2 cents on this, right? He was offered a plea deal that would not that Chelsea would not go to jail and he would not go to jail. And he still decided to go to trial, right? And the charges he has are related to that incident. He had a gun that someone got from him. So of course that was negligence. You had people endangered by a firearm that you carried, which you should not even had in California in the first place. And I don't want to be not sympathetic about the fact that he did cover up for Kelsey, that he did try to protect Meg. At the end of the day, you were sleeping with 2 friends that were emotionally charged and they were under the influence, and you knew both of them, and you already knew putting them in the same room at the same time, knowing that you were sleeping with both of them. At your point, that's just reckless. That's completely reckless. Now, I don't think he should have done jail time, but I think there's things he could have done to avoid being in jail. And even with this new evidence to confirm that it wasn't him, it doesn't matter. We already knew it wasn't him. It was inconclusive, right? We already assumed that he didn't fire the gun because the DNA would have been on that. So the only other person was Kelsey, right? But at the end of the day, instead of just taking your plea deal, sealing the case, no one would have had time, you decided to do this, I guess, heroic act that got you 10 years in jail and now 15 stab wounds. So I don't get his logic on this. I do think he had good intentions. I think he just had very poor execution because he had the opportunity not to go to jail. And it's just unfortunate. And to what you were saying, New, based on what information Megan has, she truly believed it was Tory. And I don't know with this information, she's gonna be like an epiphany. Oh, it wasn't. At the end of the day, she reacted based on what she thought was tried and true. Now, her saying, hey, I apologize, it's not going to change the fact that she needed to get jail because she lied. It didn't take her saying that he shot her to get that charge. He was going to get that charge regardless. There's nothing that Megan said that got him incarcerated. The fact that the gun was present is why he was incarcerated, and he could avoid a jail time by taking a plea deal, and he just didn't. So I don't want to be negative, but I think a lot of this could have played out a lot differently.
It was bad counsel. I'm like, what were your lawyers telling you? Who were your lawyers? Wait. Johnny Cochran, you should have did a seance, brought Johnny Cochran back from the dead and had him be the damn lawyer. Because I'm like, dog, your lawyers failed you. Your legal
his lawyers told him to take the plea deal, but he thought he was going to have a better chance in trial. And
so
this is
what
what
was the
it
plea
is.
deal? If it was no jail time, what was the plea deal?
It would basically plead to the charges that he has, but with no jail time, because he was already incarcerated anyway during the wait for the trial. But it would have been like time served, and he wouldn't have to serve any more. And at the end of the day, that's it. So again, the same charges he got anyway, and now he's doing jail time. He could have still had them, and if he wanted to appeal it later down the road or figure something else, there's other ways to do it, but he didn't have to go all out for this. I don't think it was necessary, especially when it was a lot of just misunderstanding, drunk intoxication. I think it could have played out better. And I feel bad for him that he felt like he had to do this to protect them, but I don't think he had to do this to protect the both of them because we all knew it was Kelsey.
It's really all Kylie Jenner for.
Yeah. It's Kylie because she was appearing with him first, And now Megan all mad, you know, and then Megan addressing Tory. Now Kelsey all mad, like, what you talking to my man for? You know, so we're gonna blame the Kardashians for this whole incident.
Always. When in doubt, blame the damn Kardashians. And I don't know if we can blame them for this next one, but somebody needs to take the rap for this because this is ridiculous, and I can't even believe this happened. And I think it's going back to what your team doing for you.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Our don't be goes to Chris Brown's staff, team, record label, and motherfucking crew, as Tupac once said. How y'all get this man back in the UK after trouble in 2023 to the point where he's in jail and is sitting into the middle of June to face trial for allegedly bashing a producer in the head with a bottle? Why is he in the UK if he got warrants and shit? I'm gonna cut them a little. I'm gonna shoot his team a little bit of bill because Jay Daniels was on the Joe Budden podcast, and he mentioned that you know, you can call overseas, you can check building A, B, and C, no warrants, everything's cool. But if you don't check building D, it could be some shit waiting on you. So they could have tried. I think you should try harder. I think if I'm one of the biggest stars in the world, you should make sure I'm good when I land anywhere. And it's fucked up, man. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the case and him hitting the head dude in the head with the bottle and all that shit. I just know that he shouldn't have been back over there if there was a chance he was going to be arrested. And that's what makes it so dumb.
Yeah, I just think overall, if I got into an altercation in another country, for whatever reason it was started, I just would not go back to that country for any reason. You know, why am I going back to UK for a concert? I don't think it was worth the money. I don't think it was worth the check mark. I would have avoided it 100%, regardless of the fact. Even if they were like, I'm cleared, I still would have avoided it because, you know, you're overseas and we've seen what happened overseas in trials, you know. And I don't think it's...
You said Rocky, Brittany Griner.
Yeah, like you see all of this. So like, again, most people don't like you either, Chris. Like, I love him to death, you know what I mean? But he doesn't have the best track record. Incredibly talented, but it's always overshadowed by something as foolish as this, right? And it's just unfortunate because now you have 3 concerts during that time frame until you go to trial in the UK that you're not going to attend. So now you're losing money. You're probably going to be in jail for some time, so you're going to miss out on the rest of your tour just because whoever decided to plan out your concert tour and didn't want to triple check about an arrest. Like, where was your legal team? Why wasn't that handled in 2023? You know, so again, it's just like fire everybody at this point because it's like, what are y'all here for then? Like, y'all have one job.
Yeah, I'm in jail, all y'all free, saying at the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons, and I'm in jail like, wait till I get out. All you niggas is doing time. Pelican Bay. Ain't got shit on me. Everybody fired.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Man.
It is crazy. And then just like you were saying, Heidi, his track record. I mean, anytime he gets in any type of trouble, they always bring up the old stuff that I'm not gonna bring up right now. But so you should be dotting your I's, crossing your T's, like double checking, because you don't want them people to bring up that again and say, see, still the same behavior, you know. So he definitely needs to do some firing when he gets back out.
Yeah, I just really want people on his team to be more protective of his brand and image. And I get he's who he is, and he might be a little bit on the stubborn side, but there's got to be someone better in his corner to just like literally walk him off the plank sometimes, because, you know, he will always be one of the biggest artists of our time, and people will never remember that because it's every other year is a violent episode or a angry outburst, like something that's explosive that overshadows so much success that you had. I mean, like literally you had hundreds of thousands of people in your show in South Africa. Like there's not a lot of artists that are doing that today. And yet people are looking at you now. It's like, oh, he just got arrested. That's crazy. So
Yet again. Looks like my system here is frozen. So I'm going to throw to our Nipsey Hussle Award, but we don't have the drop. But basically, it is Nipsey saying, no matter if it's music, if it's politics, if it's religion, whatever it is, if you on your marathon, you on your grind, you're going to get to it. So our Nipsey Hussle Award, which is named after the late, great Nipsey Hussle, I'm going to start with the movie Sinners. Heidi, don't take your earpiece out. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Thank you, Philly. I was about to hold on. Hold on, I'm about to pause,
I really think she's waiting for it to come out on Betamax. I think she's waiting for Betamax, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
Listen, I just want a sexy movie theater to go to that's works within my work schedule, and they're colliding right now. So it may just have to be at home. But still, don't give me information. I want to see
me and Jacq just gonna FaceTime you one day and tell you what happened. This is what happened. Yeah.
I know, right? And I'll be like, I still haven't seen it either.
Right.
But you haven't seen it. So you haven't spent your $10, $15, $20, $30 to go see it. But a lot of people have spent money. They spent over $300 million. It was already a top 2 grossing horror film. People don't know this. It's a horror film. That's the genre. And I don't think this is spoiling it, but I've said this. I love the movie so much because it was a horror film. It was a gangster flick. It was damn near rom-com, and it was a timepiece. It was all of those things wrapped up into one, massively done. I initially gave it 4 Ertz on my no break scale, but now I give it a perfect 5. But I consider the fact it's a horror movie that accomplished all of this. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Delroy Lindo was excellent in it. The entire cast was phenomenal. I will not yet again. I'm gonna have to go see the movie again before I talk about it because I'm gonna forget because every week we can't talk about it. So by the next week, I'm gonna have to go see it again. Matter of fact, field trip. Jacq, me, you going to DC? We're gonna say hi to the movie. We're gonna go see it and fly back because I don't forget what happened now.
Well, Heidi, I will say this. It's not just a vampire movie. A lot of people think it's that, but there's a lot of African symbolism. Okay. It's a lot of African culture that's symbolic in that movie. So even after you watch it, you can actually go. I did a deep research behind what everything meant and everything, and it was very intriguing. So you will get a lot of African because a lot of people had different opinions on it. A lot of people didn't understand it. A lot of people were just like, but if you're really into spirituality, spiritual warfare, you'll get it. But definitely pay attention to the African symbolism. I just noticed just from my great grandma and stuff like that, when they were just talking about how a lot of people believe that evil spirits they have to be invited into your space. So a lot of times, so it's going to show that in the movie where a lot of times the situations where the evil spirits, they were trying to manipulate.
All right, Jacq, you're doing too much.
That's not too much. You don't know what's going on with the movie.
I appreciate it because I do believe like you invite what you attract, right? Like, if you have negative energy, the negative energy is going to come to you. And so if you feel that, you believe that, and you associate yourself with people around that, I get it. But that was completely
you'll like it. Okay. You'll like it. Yeah. Definitely.
It's like Cassie inviting Diddy in. Sometimes you got to kick him out. I
mean, some people like that energy. Some people don't.
Right.
Some people like monsters.
Some people like getting pissed on.
Thank you, Elle. Thank you, Elle.
What the hell? Let me see what's going on here. Incredible movie, 5 stars. Yep, I gave it 5 Ertz on the no break scale. It's historical fiction with vampires and spiritual imagery. That's right. That's 100% correct. Demons cannot enter your domain without being invited in. Well, who the hell invited these demons in my life? It wasn't me.
It had to be you. No, it probably was you.
You know what? Y'all are turning on me. I don't like this.
No, so demons don't always look like monsters. Demons can be friendly and beautiful. They can be misleading. They can be manipulative. So you may not realize it's a demon until you see their fangs, right?
It could be your poly. That could be
you know what? When I look back on it, and I think about the great poet laureates, Michael, Ronnie, and Ricky, they warned us to never trust a big button to smile.
Oh my gosh!
That girl is poison.
I mean, we have some stuff with us, just like some guys, See, look, she just told you. You just didn't know. Mm-hmm. You're the only one that's in denial right now.
You know what? We gonna move right along.
Well, now he want to move on.
Right along.
That look like a third spirit to me.
I do want to. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm missing no comments real quick as I'm wrapping us up. There it is. Say that shit new. That's right. Whatever I said, I was right.
He don't even know.
I'm glad someone defended you. It was like 3-on-1. I'm glad someone came to save you a little bit.
Right. The devil is handsome and charming. You wouldn't trust him if you look like a demon.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 2 demons on this damn podcast for me, but we'll leave that alone.
Listen, I'm reformed.
I rebuke you.
I rebuke you. You rebuke me. Wait,
I rebuke you.
Wait.
Nah, don't bring that energy over here. Leave that over there.
You don't see my halo?
No, now what are you throwing demon daggers at people?
Oh, see?
Return to sender.
Bergen said, don't just be buttons now.
Let me get some holy water for you and some sage. Okay.
I got my holy water.
I bet you do. Mm-hmm. Open your spirit, open your mind and spirits to demons.
Why do you think they call it spirits?
Exactly. And you wonder how you got that attraction to them demons.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Say that again, Heidi.
Open that portal up.
Again, Heidi.
Open that portal up. Let all kind of things in.
Yes.
Oh, my Johnson.
If she does look like Carrie Hilson, I agree, Elle. They say you
who look like Carrie Hilson? Heidi B?
Wait.
Yes. You do favor her, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that before?
I didn't get her voice, though. I didn't get her voice, so please don't ask me to sing. Because I will scare everybody off this podcast, and I will never be invited back. So.
Let me see what we were doing. All right, boom. So now, as I was kind of wrapping us up, me, Jacq, and Carrie Hilson, let's see. So I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. We are not done just yet. We are going to get to That's That with Jacq, and then we're going to get into a random ass new thought, and then we can get up out of here. But before we do that, I want to thank our guest, Heidi B, for coming on. It has been a pleasure. You've been excellent, and look forward to having you back on in the future. And maybe not another 13 years has to go by.
No, maybe a little sooner than that. Maybe a little sooner than that. Yeah, but I appreciate you inviting me.
Sinners. When she watches Sinners,
yes. Okay.
Boom.
I'll watch Sinners and I can do a follow-up because low-key I'm a scaredy cat. So I'll have to watch this horror film and hopefully not be scarred for life. But thanks again for inviting me. It's been a treat. And till next time.
There it is. Anything you want to leave the people with, where they should follow you, or anything you want them to support?
Right now, I'm in the transitional phase. I'm doing some consulting in the hospitality world. So essentially, I'm working on opening a restaurant. When I get more details, I'll share it. Maybe that'll be part of the follow-up with Sinners. I can kind of introduce the new concept of the restaurant that I'm doing.
Sinners and Dinners.
Sinners and Dinners. There it is.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I'm going to toss it to Jacq for That's That with Jacq, and then we can get a random ass new thought, and then we're going to get up out of here. But don't go nowhere. Everybody stay where you at. Don't nobody leave.
All right, you guys. Well, you already know May is Mental Health Wellness Awareness Month. So I want you to pour into yourself, and I don't mean like new with the spirits. I want you to pour into yourself physically, mentally. Take time off. Sometimes all we need to do is just sit still. Sometimes we just need to be present. So be present. Be present this week. Be present in all your accomplishments. Be present in other people's lives. If you're being used to convey messages, or if you're being used by the universe to inspire others, allow that to happen. Embrace it, and just pour into yourself, because it's really ugly out here. Things aren't getting better in the world as far as they're talking about a recession is coming. Don't get scared of that. Work on yourself. Work on yourself, because the one thing that you will always have is your mind. So you want to keep that strong. Okay?
Boom. And that's that with Jacq. Now we can get to my rant, my random ass new thought. And we kind of touched on it a little bit during the Say Goodbye. knowing when to say goodbye. So I don't want to repeat that. But what I will do is I'll leave you with this. The goal of this week will be to make yourself proud. I can't tell you all the benefits of making yourself proud. That means you accomplished something. That means you did something you either thought you couldn't do, thought you were supposed to do, thought you should do. But you impress yourself. If you impress yourself this week, I can guarantee you it's going to be a good week. I can guarantee you it's going to be a solid week. I can guarantee you it's going to be the week you wanted. We are almost halfway through the year. I don't know where everybody is in their goals. I don't know what you want to do, what you got planned, but the year is almost halfway up, which means no matter where you are, you should be stepping it up. If you've accomplished your entire year goal, you should have set a new one and be working on that now. If you're literally halfway through your goals, you should feel good and start pushing even faster to make sure you finish it. If you are behind in your goals, you should be stepping it up. And I'm going to leave you with this. Tomorrow morning, if this is Sunday night for you, on Monday, I want you to wake up a half hour earlier than you normally would. And do with that time what you will. If it's Tuesday tomorrow, I want you to wake up a half hour earlier and do what you will with that time. I'm not going to tell you what to do with the time. I'm just going to tell you to get up a little earlier so you have that extra time. Then you figure out how best to use it. But that's my random ass new thought. You're going to do an extra 30 minutes in the morning and see what that leads us to. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank y'all for y'all continued support. Shout out to Randy T. Shout out to J. Lou. Shout out to KD. Shout out to Jacq. This has been another episode of A Pod Named Kickback. We will be doing an episode of Kickback Sports now that we know what the Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals will be. Shout out to my
Tune in. I would tell them tune in on the sports.
For sure. And be great, man. What up? And I will leave you with the ancient words of my native language. This is Nigerian. You know, I'm of the Igbo tribe. My 23andMe results came through. I know who I am. I am from Nigerian of the Igbo tribe. And we do not say good night. We do not say goodbye. We say kachifu. And that means may we all wake up tomorrow. So as we end this episode, I want to say to you and yours, kachifu.
Kachifu.